Ryan, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Thanks for joining, everyone. All right, so let's talk about what's going on in Los Angeles, what President Trump did, who is out there doing this, Karen Bass, and all the usual suspects of leftist lunatics. So, on my previous stream, which I was rudely interrupted on due to the poor cellular connection that I had, I'm going to recap a little bit where I was on the last stream for people that weren't there. Now, I'm going to ask this question of you guys, and you know, there's a few questions I'm going to ask you all as I'm talking about what's going on here. I watched a lot of those LA immigration riots that were going on yesterday, illegal immigration riots. So I want to break down what I saw, what I witnessed, what I experienced, and my thoughts on it, and ask you some questions along the way. Now, number one, I was watching what was happening on X, and it was so disturbing, but it was only in clips, 30 seconds here, 3.5 minutes there. And I knew this is the biggest news story ever, and since in an American city in Los Angeles since the LA riots and OJ, right? So I turn on the cable news, Fox. They're not running it. I go over to CNN, MSNBC. They're not carrying it. So I'm like, what? What are you kidding me? How are they not carrying this? There's riots going on in an American city, and it's not on the news. What the hell's going on here? So I went online here on YouTube, and I searched live stream LA immigration ICE riots live stream, and a bunch of feeds came up. You may have searched something similar. I pulled up the feed, and this is not a joke. I don't want you guys to think I'm trying to be funny or sarcastic. I thought it was fake. I thought it was a live stream of something that was going on in Mexico, that had happened in Mexico, and they were rerunning some feed from Mexico, calling it a live stream when it was just some event that happened God knows when. And I was like, what? So I went to 2, 3, 4 maybe, 3 or 4 before I realized this is LA, yeah? It's like Sheryl Crow. All I want to do, this is LA, right? Remember that? I couldn't believe it. I could not freaking believe it because of the Mexican flags, the smoke, the federal agents in military gear. I just couldn't believe that something like this was happening with these Mexican flags flying around in an American city, and the news isn't even carrying it on television. And so I want to first ask you, when you guys went and pulled up the live feeds on YouTube, which I'm sure you did because you're watching me on YouTube, so you guys are YouTube watchers, did you have the same immediate reaction that this is some video from whenever in Mexico that some channels are just running and saying it's a live feed in LA? That's what I thought. Did you guys think that? Yes or no? Curious. You know, because there's no way I'm the only person who had that immediate reaction. I mean, it didn't take long to figure it out, but I was blown away. Yeah, it's completely insane. Completely insane. So it was, now that was one of the dumbest moves these people have ever done. Now the event, now another thing I noticed, because I was watching it with the volume on, you could hear people talking. In particular, there was this one lunatic woman with a bullhorn. You couldn't see her, you could only hear her, and you may have heard her too if you had the volume up. Well, Rodney King was more responsible than Karen Bass and New Scum. Remember Rodney King said, stop this, can't we all just get along? Rodney King tried to stop the riots. Can't we all just get along? Right? Karen Bass, New Scum, and the others in the government out there are siding with the rioters, telling them to amp it up. So think about that. Rodney King was more responsible than the LA riots than Karen Bass. So when I heard the woman on the bullhorn speaking English, I was watching it for a while, listening, and she was ordering the crowd, okay, go here, go there, avoid the tear gas by going here. So that tells you that there was a lot of organizing that was being done by liberals, Democrats, liberal activists, and Antifa, because they were speaking English to the protesters. So they were talking to English-speaking, not Spanish-speaking protesters. So there was some of that going on, which I thought was interesting. But here's what's going on, okay? Because it seemed to be largely Mexican because they were waving Mexican flags. But what that showed yesterday is that the United States, California in particular, the United States has been invaded by Mexicans and Latin Americans. Invaded. Southern California is being occupied by these foreign invaders, and they're also colonizing our country. You know, on my podcast yesterday, which you guys should go and watch, it's the one, this was later in the podcast, the second or third segment of the podcast that I uploaded yesterday. And it's right here on this YouTube channel. The thumbnail has Trump with the USA hat, and it's Trump defends Elon. Later in that podcast, after I talked about Trump and Elon, there's been a study done almost now because this includes California, almost 1/4 of all public school students in the United States are anchor babies. Their parents are illegals. Almost 1/4 of students in public school in the United States are anchor babies. Think about that. So we've been invaded, we're being occupied, you can see that in California, and also colonizing by having children. So, you know, and that's what's going on. And there was a lot of entitlement going on out there. I mean, these people don't even think there's anything wrong. And they've been brainwashed, like Palestinians have been brainwashed, and, you know, this is how they believe, okay? They believe, these colonist invaders, they believe that California, the whole Western United States, they believe this, by the way, but they believe that California is United States occupied Mexican territory. They actually believe that. They don't believe that California, and this goes for the whole Southwest too, but we're talking about California because of what happened in Los Angeles yesterday. They believe that California is United States occupied Mexican territory, and they seem to forget that Mexicans are of European descent too. And in fact, all of Latin America is. They can tell you all day long that they're Aztec or whatever the hell, but that's all bullshit, okay? They're Spanish. They speak in Spanish, they're Spanish, or Portuguese in some instances, but they're of European descent too, so I don't, you know. They go around and say, oh, we're Mayan, bullshit. You know, how many guys do you know here in the United States, like Elizabeth Warren, who go around saying they're Indian, right? Same thing down there. So yeah, they think California is Mexico. Absolutely, they think that. So they feel that what they're doing is right. And, you know, so, I mean, that's what's going on out there. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you are new. If you're already subbed, do me the favor of liking the video and sharing on your socials, please. But it was one of the dumbest moves the left and the illegal immigration activists ever put together. And you know, I give you an example. Way back when, okay, when the FBI was investigating the mafia, one of the mafia leaders threw a big Columbus Day event in New York City, and all the heads of the mafia families came to it, and the FBI at that event were able to, for the first time, positively identify the leaders of the American Italian mafia. And that led to a lot of arrest, okay, and broke the mafia in many ways, right? Well, that's kind of what happened yesterday. These idiots, Antifa, the Democrats, liberal activists, and the illegals of LA, they all came out. They all came out, and everyone's being monitored, everyone's being identified, and even though they're wearing masks, these dumbasses drove there, so there's license plates on their vehicles. So they're being identified, okay? Tom Holman is on it. And so they're identifying people, identifying leaders, finding out who they are, and everything else. It was one of the dumbest things that these people could have done. You know, so yeah, I know, it was very stupid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's amazing, you know. And it was it was really what that was an insurrection. It was a Mexican insurrection too. They were interrupting government business at the ICE detention facility, right? Isn't that what they told us? That if you interrupt government business, you're taking part in an insurrection. That was an insurrection yesterday against the United States government. Well, if they keep this up, President Trump could federalize Los Angeles or even the whole state of California. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was so third world, right? It was so third world what was going on out there. You know, and you know, they like to say, well, you guys are descendant of immigrants. Yeah, but our ancestors, when they came here, they became Americans. They didn't bring the third world here. They made this country a better place, right? You know, the European colonists left a shithole at the time, all kinds of problems in Europe, right? And they came here and they built the first world country and became Americans. This new wave, they don't assimilate. They bring the third world here, you know. And the reason that California and the great Southwest of the United States is so beautiful and majestic and great is because it's American. If Mexico would have kept all that area, it would be just like the rest of Mexico. Third world. And it's really sad. I don't know what it is about Latin America that keeps it third world. I mean, you know, they've got all the resources and everything that the United States and Canada have. So why is the United States and Canada first world, and you go south of the border and boom, it's the third world, all the way to the tip of South America? Why is that? I don't know. You know, when I went to South America, to Peru, I couldn't believe what I was seeing down there. Someone in the chat said corruption. We've got corruption here. Look at USAID as an example. Look at everything Doge uncovered. Look at Joe Biden, right? We've got corruption here, yet we're first world. So why is the United States and Canada first world? And immediately, as soon as you enter Mexico, all the way south, Mexico's part of North America, right? North America is the United States, Mexico, and Canada. So why is it, as soon as you step a foot into Mexico, all the way down to the tip of South America, it's third world? Why is that? But the United States and Canada are first world. Whatever the answer to that is, that's all the more reason to want to Americanize immigrants that come here from Latin America. You don't want to turn this into the third world, and I'll tell you, LA was looking quite a bit like the third world. Yeah, I don't have the answer to that question. I don't know why Latin America is that way. It's sad. I don't know what's the culture. I don't know. I mean, our government's as corrupt as hell. You know, look at everything that we find out in this country. So who knows? But I'll tell you, that was a bad move by these lunatics in Los Angeles, because they've shown America yet again, Trump was right, right? I have that great hat I love. I was wearing it the other day. Trump was right about everything. Trump is always right. And this thing in LA, they think it helped them? Hell no, it didn't. It helped this country. Mm-hmm. You're not first world when you're run by corrupt kings and royals. No, the United States was the first world country. We established first worldness. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. And of course, this coming Saturday, a week from yesterday, we've got the great birthday of our favorite president. With this, we got a big week ahead, right? The president's birthday is Saturday, President Trump's birthday. And then a week from tomorrow, a week from Monday, is the 10th anniversary of President Trump coming down the escalator. So we've got a great week and a half ahead of us, right? A lot of celebrating going on. If America's so evil, why are so many people trying to come here illegally, you know, and set up a life here? No, I did not think that was LA. A lot of times there's these fake feeds that claim to be live, but they're just videos from the past. I thought that was video from Mexico in the past that somebody was running, claiming to be a live stream in LA. I could not believe that was Los Angeles. I couldn't believe it. America's the greatest country in the world and the greatest country that ever was. Yep, Father's Day. Very excited about that. Father's Day is the most important holiday of the year. Mm-hmm. Indeed it is. But no, this is, what happened in LA yesterday was a disaster for the left. It was a complete disaster. Oh, I got an itch. A mosquito bit me on my back. Hold on, I'm going to scratch it on my side view mirror because I can't reach it. There we go. Oh, LA is a dump. I mean, you know, I'm so glad my daughter left California. I never thought she would. I never thought my daughter would leave California, but she did, thankfully. And when I would go out to LA to visit her, I couldn't believe what a dump it was. It really is. A complete dump. Now, they did a lot of damage to themselves yesterday. A lot. She moved back to Florida. It's too expensive in California. Too expensive. And it's, you know, the glamour wore off, I guess. Well, as I was saying earlier, you know, you watch these Democrats in LA with this rioting going on yesterday. Karen Bass and all, totally irresponsible, backing the violent rioters, the media and everything. Rodney King, during the LA riots, came out and asked everyone to stop rioting, stop looting. He said, can't we all just get along? Right? And Rodney King not only tried to calm things down. I remember I watched that Rodney King press conference live when it happened in '91, and I'm sure a lot of you did too. And if you go back and watch it, not only was Rodney King more responsible than Karen Bass and Newscum and the media out there calling these mostly peaceful as they're standing in front of things on fire. You could tell that not only was Rodney King trying to calm things down, he felt very guilty that this was happening because of him. He felt very responsible for what was happening in the LA riots, and he did not support it. And that it's pretty bad when Rodney King is the late Rodney King is more responsible than the current mayor of Los Angeles when there's violence in the city. She's egging it on. No? Yeah, who, I mean, that was something. Mm-hmm. Oh, there'll be a lot of deportations because of that. Believe me. Believe me. The orders have been given. You could tell Tom Homan was pissed. You could tell. I saw Tom Homan on Fox last night. He is pissed off. And unlike Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, he doesn't send out tweets telling you what he's going to do. He just goes and does it. Exactly, Joseph. Good point. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. What's the definition of fascism that you're seeing here? What are you referencing? Yeah, I mean, you know, MAGA's the way. This is a MAGA country. You know, it's crazy. If Donald Trump had not won the election, the leaders of those lunatics riding in LA would be running the country right now. By the way, where is Kamala? Probably on a benders the weekend, you know. But every day's the weekend for her. You know, probably lying in bed passed out next to an empty bottle of wine or two. But it's moments like this that someone could come out like Rodney King and say, hey, can't we all just get along? Calm this down. But every public official in California, Democrats all, are encouraging it, and they're inciting it. Very irresponsible. Very irresponsible. And it's also illegal. You cannot incite violence. You don't have the freedom of speech to incite violence. And Karen Bass and the rest out there, that's exactly what it is they're doing. Yeah, so we've got, so as I was saying, we got a lot of big things coming up. We got the president's birthday on Saturday, a week from tomorrow, the 10th anniversary of Trump coming down the escalator, and also the big Army celebration in D.C. is on the president's birthday on Saturday. And I'm sure you've all seen online the footage of the military equipment moving into D.C. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. The golden age of America, that's right. The golden age. And next year we'll be gearing up for America's 250th birthday. I can't wait for that. I love the 4th of July. The first people, Adam and Eve. We all know that. Yep. This is the week of Trump. No, we have parades in America too. No, we have parades here, not just North Korea. And our military equipment's for real. In North Korea, that's all fake. There's no common ground with foreign invaders that are attacking federal agents and illegally occupying U.S. territory like we saw in California. There's no middle ground with that. That's what they want. You just arrest them, deport them. That's what you do. That's it. There's no middle ground. That's right, Lisa Roberts. What money are they spending? A little gasoline? They already own all the equipment. The soldiers are paid no matter where they are. So what's the big expense? A little bit of gasoline? I love how they're all of a sudden the liberals are fiscally conservative. They don't want the government spending money. You know, that equipment, you have to run it and use it and drive it around for it to stay operational. I mean, Karen Bass is like the worst mayor in LA history, right? She just got her city burned down with her woke shit. Now this. Mm-hmm. I know they'll talk about the expense all week. She should be removed. If she were a mayor in Florida, DeSantis would remove her from office. I mean, she's so irresponsible. You cannot incite violence, especially in your own city that you're supposed to be, you know, keeping the peace in as mayor. Mm-hmm. It's not costing any money. What's the expense? Other than gasoline, what is the expense? And you know, what a financial boom for DC. How many people are going to travel to DC over the weekend just to see it? Just to see the parade, right? It's going to be a big boom for the economy up there. Mm-hmm. Oh no, it's a big boom for tourism in that area. The Airbnbs and the hotels will be filled. The planes will be filled going up there. The trains, the local businesses will be raking in money. And then they'll have another run. 4th of July is right around the corner. Mm-hmm. And of course, the government earns tax revenues on that. So the actual parade probably will turn a profit for the government, if you think about it. All the taxes. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? I think the government may make a profit. Yeah, you know, the federal government runs DC. It's a federal city. It's not a parade for Trump's birthday. It's a parade celebrating the U.S. Army. You know, it's like my birthday is April 20th, right? So every April 20th, I've had a birthday my whole life, little celebration. Well, that's also International Marijuana Day. Does that mean when we celebrate my birthday, we're celebrating marijuana? It's also Hitler's birthday, April 20th. So, you know, come on. On everyone's birthday, things happen. It's just a coincidence. The Army and the President's birthday, just a coincidence. Yeah, 420, that's my birthday, man. Trump can't help that his birthday is the same day as the United States Army's birthday. A lot of people have their birthday on April 20th. Eddie Murphy, George Takei, who's Sulu on Star Trek, his birthday is April 20th. Just like mine. I mean, there's only 365 days in a year, so whatever your birthday is, you can find all kinds of things that fall on it. It's just a coincidence. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to my channel. So, you know, what happened in LA yesterday, these people are so stupid. So, not only did they show the American people how bad it is, right, that this country has been invaded and is being occupied by illegals that have no business being here, it gave a great opportunity for Tom Homan to go out there and start arresting a lot of people and deporting them that probably would not have been deported. So it was a stupid move strategically for these lunatics on the left. It's almost like they want to help Tom Homan. Right? It was the best. Yes, I'm in Florida. I am in Florida. A Hawaiian shirt in Florida? When do you think I was in Hawaii? Maybe Publix gives it away. Florida's the best state. No doubt about it by far. There's no state better than Florida. Absolutely. The president lives here. Well, listen, you know, a wife loves her husband till he gets caught in bed by his wife with another woman. Then all of a sudden she's pissed off and doesn't like him. You know, we're not psychic. Can't see into the future that Elon was going to turn out to betray Trump. Maybe liberals are psychic. Yeah, it's going to be in the low 90s today. If by losers you mean the winner state, you're right. Elon's a weirdo. Well, how could you not be weird and be the richest man in the world, right? A lot of very successful people are weird for a number of reasons, but one thing I've noticed, a lot of successful, very wealthy people that I've known in my life are very bizarre people. And the reason they go into business for themselves and become financially successful is because they're so weird they can't get along with other people. So they have to go into business for themselves to function. I've met many people like that in my life. Total lunatics, but wealthy and have successful businesses. Oh, Bezos is a freak. Bezos, he's a total freak. It's not true with all successful and wealthy people, but I've known a lot of very successful people that are very weird. Oh, Florida's a great state. This is the best. Yep. Zuckerberg is a freak too, absolutely. 007, that is true. Jesus Christ is king, absolutely. Yeah, Florida would be a lot more pleasant without all the New Yorkers, yeah. Yep. Wouldn't be so crowded, and the roads would be less crowded too. Yeah, that was interesting. Trump at the UFC, he didn't have his entourage. Yeah, he dropped the entourage. You know, the Mission Impossible, I haven't seen the new one yet, but this is like part 2 of the last Mission Impossible. It's like a 2-movie set. The villain in the previous one is an AI. It seems kind of stupid. I thought it was ridiculous that this AI sentient computer life form was the villain in the last Mission Impossible. And this is a continuation of that one. It seems a little strange to me. I can see why they thought it sounded good in the pitch meeting, but it just seemed a little weird. For a Mission Impossible movie, right? Mission Impossible isn't science fiction, it's action adventure, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can see Florida. There's palm trees right there. Do they need them? I don't know. We'll find out. Are they going to need the National Guard today, or did the illegals go home? No, who knows? But I'll tell you this, if they come back out today, it'll be another big mistake. It's helping with the roundups. You know, liberals, they always complain about so many things, right? What they're trying to do yesterday, this is what they were trying to do, the leftist, okay, with these LA riots. They're trying to cause a crisis, thinking, it's the Cloward and Piven strategy. They're trying to cause a crisis and a breakdown so that the government leaders will meet with them and come to some concessions. And that's not going to happen with Trump running the country. Newsom's dreams of being president. I wonder if is Newsom in touch with reality enough to know that a presidential run by him is hopeless? What do you guys think? Or is Newsom still so delusional that he thinks he's going to be president? Does Newsom think he is still electable or not as president? That's the question. Give me a yes or no. Is Gavin Newsom still in the mindset that he can win a national election, yes or no? If he is, he's not mentally stable enough to govern the state. Wow, he still thinks he can be president. Well, then he's delusional. Delusional. Yeah, I'm a bum. Yes, that's me. Yes. If I'm a bum, what does that make you watching me? You like to watch bums? Newsom, of course, everything he's doing is building up to a presidential campaign. Well, what we saw in Los Angeles yesterday was a lot of Mexican flags. Does anyone remember, the first viral thing online that I can remember, and let me see if you guys remember this. This was on online when the internet was new, brand new. Does anyone remember bum fights? Remember bum fights? Oh my goodness. These guys had a website and they would pay bums to fight each other, and then they would make videos and put it online. They had a website about it. Oh my goodness. That was the first kind of viral thing online. Hey, you remember Black Lotus? Yeah. That's the first thing I can remember that was viral online. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was pretty bad. There was no regulation on the internet back then. It was the Wild West. Kind of like Periscope used to be. You blame the cartels for the... No, the illegals, they live well out there, right? They got their kids in school. They got their Section 8 housing. They got their EBT. They don't have... They live good. The homeless are the Americans. I remember when... the first time I went to LA to visit my daughter, we went to In-N-Out, because I had never been to In-N-Out. So we went to In-N-Out, and they had the drive-through there. And, here in Florida, if you go to drive-throughs, like if you go to Chick-fil-A, not today because Chick-fil-A is not open on Sundays, of course, but if you go to Chick-fil-A, they take your order in the drive-through, and there's a guy, and he was like there in the drive-through, and I thought he was going to take our order, and he was a homeless guy. He was a white guy, a homeless guy. But we parked and we went inside because I'd never been in In-N-Out, and I was the only white guy around. It was, because it was Los Angeles, and I told my daughter, I said, California is like the United States in reverse, right? The white people are bums and homeless in California. It was like total. It was like that movie with John Travolta, White Man's Burden. And I had not seen I didn't see a white person or even a black person for like 2 hours. When I was out there the first time, I was like, this is a strange place. That's LA. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I got in the car to get in the air conditioner because it's hot and humid. John Travolta, White Man's Burden. It was a movie with John Travolta. Yeah. Yep. Well, Southern California obviously has fallen. No getting around that. But you know what? Tom Homan's going to take it back. Mm-hmm. Well, there's crime everywhere, but what we saw yesterday wasn't crime. We had that was an insurgency. That's a foreign insurgency that is occupying Southern California. Big difference. Big difference. I wore my MAGA hat in LA. If you guys watched my my vlog in LA, down the street from where my daughter was living, we were driving around, and I couldn't believe we saw some pro-life activists in front of a Planned Parenthood. So I got out of the car, I had my daughter drop me off, I went and interviewed them. They're on my LA vlog. You get used to the humidity, but why be out in the heat when I can be in the air-conditioned vehicle? Mm-hmm. Exactly. There are more. This is a crazy thing, because Florida is a big state, right? There are more. Listen to this. There are more registered Republicans in California than in Florida. Think about that. There are more registered Republicans in California than in Florida. Yeah. Now, if they would deport all the illegals, it'd be a Republican state again. Mm-hmm. The cults are the never-Trumpers because we're the majority. We're the majority. A cult is a small group. America is a MAGA country. President Trump just won a national election. The cult are the never-Trumpers. No, there's more registered Republicans in California than in Florida by a lot, close to 100,000 more. Mm-hmm. I know, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Never Trumper for life. Why would your life be defined by a negative? I mean, what is it? AGM, are you an American citizen? Why would you be a never Trumper? Why would an American be a never Trumper? That just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, don't you see what's going on in Los Angeles right now? That's what you want our country to be? Mexico? You want to make America? We want to make America great again. You want to make America Mexico. Right? I mean, what the heck? Yeah. That's right. No, it doesn't seem too smart to me. America used to be part of Mexico? Well, it's not anymore. That's right. You know, it's interesting, the liberals, they're against colonialism except when they're doing it. Right? Mexicans are of European descent too. They're descendant of Spaniards. Spain's in Europe too. So do you want the Mexicans to go back to Europe or just United States of Americans? They're all descendant of Spaniards. They're European as well. You know, I tell you, what are they teaching people in school these days? It's pretty sad. No, they're not. They're not. The Spaniards, the conquistadors, you know, AOC's ancestor is one of the conquistadors who totally eradicated and committed genocide against the native people of Latin America. Cortez, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her ancestor, Cortez the conquistador, committed genocide. The native people of Latin America are pretty much all gone. Most of the people that go around and say they're descendant of Mayans or Aztecs, they're full of shit. They're like Elizabeth Warren claiming to be an Indian. Mm-hmm. Pick up a history back? What's a history back? Maybe AOC owes some reparations. I'm trying to figure out what a history back is. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe somebody can tell me. Pick up a history back. Don't you love when somebody tries to act like they're smarter and more educated than you are, and then they have stupid typos and misspellings? It's ridiculous. It's hilarious. I hold a history degree. I have a history degree. I went to college, majored in history and education. I have a degree in history. That's right. The Spanish Empire. Yeah, where's that today? We kicked their ass in the Spanish-American War. We took Puerto Rico, we took the Philippines, we took Guam. Did we get American Samoa from that? I can't remember. We should have kept Cuba. Cuba would be a paradise today if we would have kept it. MAGA for life. That's right. MAGA for life. Yeah, welcome. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. And if you would like to support my content, go to mypillow.com. Use my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and load up, man. Get the best night's sleep you've ever had. You got Mike Lindell's on trial, you know. Week 2 of his trial starts on Monday in Colorado. They're trying to bankrupt Mike Lindell. There's a link to my Pillow page in the description of the video. Promo code Kane, Kane. Puerto Rico is awesome. I love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is my favorite place in the Caribbean. I've been there many times. We've taken 2 of our MAGA cruises there. Well, listen, guys, I got to run. Thanks for watching. Again, make sure you subscribe. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Take care. See you next time.